What's up everybody, and welcome to another edition of AGR'S Pop Culture Reviews. It's pretty remarkable when you think about it, but Batman has been a part of American pop culture for almost 80 years. And although the storylines may have changed slightly and there have been several iterations of Batman, the true essence of the character has always remained, and that's probably one of the reasons he's been such an enduring character in pop culture. Most comic book characters never survive retcons or reimaginings, but Batman is such an icon that he always comes out on top. You have to take into consideration that Batman doesn't have superpowers. He's a normal guy, but he is probably one of the most formidable superheroes in the DC universe. From a psychological standpoint, he's a very tragic character, with the trauma of seeing his parents murdered, and that makes him so driven. And one of the things that most people don't realize is that Bruce Wayne ceased to exist when he saw his parents murdered. There is no Bruce Wayne. That's actually the mask. There is only Batman. No spoilers of course, but the Rebirth storyline is extraordinary and only adds to the complexity of this character. So today we're going to be reviewing Kotobukiya's Batman Rebirth 1/10 scale ArtFX Plus statue. Let's take a closer look. Now by now you guys already know how impressed I am with Kotobukiya, particularly the Bishoujo statues. They never fail to impress. But this line is absolutely gorgeous. I love the ArtFX Plus line. And look at the head sculpt here guys, this is absolutely stunning. This looks like it was literally ripped off the pages from the comic. Just take a look at the detail in the brow, the cowl is very impressive, those iconic whited out eyes, but what I find most impressive is the detail in his face, especially the wrinkles in his cheek and definitely in the lower chin. Now to say a Batman statue has a lot of presence is kind of ubiquitous at this point, but this one truly does. Just take a look at the upper torso and midsection of this piece. This one is very subtle, yet it's so impressive. Anatomically, this piece is magnificent. Just take a look at the muscles, especially in the upper chest. You have that beautiful bat symbol with the nice yellow border, and take a look at the abdominals. The shading here is fantastic, and his cape also looks great, which we'll take a look at a little bit later. This is an exemplary statue and sculpt. It looks fantastic. Admittedly, when I first saw the design of the Rebirth utility belt, I wasn't initially impressed. It kind of bothered me, but it has grown on me since, especially after reading the comics. It actually makes a lot of sense. I do love the design of it, those two kind of fang-shaped areas, and I really like how flush the new buckle looks. But the only thing that still kind of bothers me is those yellow stripes on either side. It just makes it look a little bit weird, but overall it's still a really great sculpt. Now, like I always say, and I feel like I repeat myself sometimes, the stance of a figure is everything, and this one is extraordinary by all accounts. I feel like this piece has the perfect amount of distance between the two legs, but most importantly is the overall sculpt. Just take a look at the quad muscles there and pay particular attention to the shading, which really exemplifies it. It looks absolutely fantastic, guys. I also love the color of the gray that they used, because it contrasts well with the subtle black of his boots, which is another great sculpt. I absolutely love the calf muscles and the little creases down there. Every piece is going to have that aspect to it that's really going to turn it over for you. And this one is definitely in the cape. Not only is it incredibly dynamic and well sculpted, but I also love the fact that it has two different colors. The inner lining of it is done in this really nice subtle purple, which looks almost felt. Some great shading here, and just take a look at that, guys. Each individual sculpt just looks great. The creases are fantastic here. The purple really stands out against the rest of the statue, and it gives it a nice sense of 3-dimension. Very few ArtFX Plus statues have some kind of accessory. Fortunately, this one did come with one, this nice little very detailed batarang, and it's also removable, and you can put it in his hand however you want to do it. I decided to go a little bit more central because I thought it looked a little bit cooler. It is nice to see that the ArtFX Plus line is including accessories to some extent. Let's hope they continue this trend. Now, as I mentioned before, I was really going to focus a little bit more on the cape because I think it deserves a little more attention than the average statue, because this is absolutely stunning, guys. Just take a look at the cowl back there. There's a lot of detail. I like the difference in the textures. Most importantly, I like that they show a separation from the cowl and the actual cape, which looks great. The sculpt on this is magnificent, guys. Look at the individual creases and mostly the way it's flowing from left to right. The other cool thing is that they sculpted it in such a manner that you can actually see the inner lining of purple come out on the opposite side of the cape, which looks great. It really goes without saying, guys, but this is definitely a piece that you want to have a mirrored back because it is spectacular. Now, one of the advantages of the ArtFX Plus line is that they did something really interesting with the bases. Not only did they make them razor thin, but they also made them magnetic, which is fantastic. In that sense, there's a lot more dynamism and you can display them from whatever angle you see fit. Of course, this base is adorned with a nice Rebirth logo, which is now iconic, and it reads the name of the character, Batman. Now, this one is definitely an easy one for me, guys. Because of the price point and how extraordinary this sculpt is, and just the overall cool factor, I can definitely categorize it as a holy grail piece, because it will become very popular. So if you can snag this at retail, definitely jump on it, guys, because it will hit the secondary market very hard. Now, before I go, I just want to thank the folks over at Big Bad Toy Store for sending this wonderful piece over for review, and if you're interested in this and other collectibles, please visit www.bigbadtoystore.com. Alright everybody, so that's my official review on Kotobukiya's Batman Rebirth 1/10 scale ArtFX Plus statue. As always, I thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next AGR's Pop Culture Reviews.